Gruesome Magazine.
Hello, once again, I'm Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video-on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Jeff Moore, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreyer, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we are reviewing The Howling Village. Yes, this is going to be fun. Let me introduce the rest of the crew, starting off with the one and only Jeff Moore. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I got no. I was going to howl or something, but I'm just.
Yes.
It wouldn't be good.
Yep. Just it takes a village. It takes a village. All right. Also joining us this week is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl. How you doing?
Oh, see, I'll do it for us. Yeah, yay! Yeah, no, I'm good. This was a fun one.
Yes.
I mean, the Howling Village is the perfect name for this.
Okay.
This movie. Mm-hmm.
There's Howling. There's a village.
There's Howling. There's a village.
And there's a tunnel. Maybe. All right. All right.
And
so
a howling tunnel. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to give our first impression of the film. That will be spoiler free, and then we'll dive into the details through a discussion, and spoilers may be had at that point. And then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. But before we do all this, what we want to say is thank you for joining us. We hope you're enjoying our reviews on the site, and we hope you enjoyed this review as well. If you do, hit the like button. if you really want to help us out, sharing or subscribing does wonders. And of course, hit the bell if you want to be reminded of future things coming your way. Because they're coming our way too, which I was going to say, but they're coming your way. It's really what matters. And of course, we'd love to hear your comments down below. What film are we covering? We are covering Howling Village from Dread and Epic. It's available now on VOD and digital. It's directed by Takashi Shimizu and written by Takashi along with Daisuke Hosaka. I feel like that's close.
Yeah,
The cast includes Ayaka Miyoshi, Ryota Bando, Toyoshi Furukawa, and Renji Ishibashi.
That sounds great. That's probably as good as it's going to get from us.
Probably for a gringo, right?
Yeah.
So, and now I'm mixing metaphors. All right, a synopsis of this, and that's not even right either. We'll keep going. Synopsis: after her brother goes missing, a young psychologist visits an infamous haunted and cursed location known as Howling Village to investigate his disappearance and uncover the family's dark history. Interesting fact about this was it was voted the scariest feature film prize at the Popcorn Frights Film Festival here recently. So that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's start off. Crystal, let's do it. Yeah, what was your first impression of Howling Village?
So let me just start off by saying I really did like this movie. It was super original and very interesting, and there is a lot of in-depth character study here. I will say I think the movie was too long. It was too long. It was like 108 minutes or something, right? Wasn't it, or something? It was almost 2 hours.
Yep.
So it was pretty long, and I think it could have been made shorter and just had more of an impact. But I did enjoy it, and I was entertained the entire time. The story's just kind of mind-blowing. I don't want to give anything away, so I mean, the synopsis is basically just the surface of what's really going on underneath all of this. So it really is a really in-depth story, and I think that's really intriguing. This is a Japanese film. I mean, I feel like Asians really make wonderful horror movies. I just tend to really enjoy them and think that they're creepy and weird, and a lot of the effects were actually really cool and good. There was some questionable green screen. Actually, there was some really questionable green screen, and there was some stuff that I maybe would have changed around to make it a little. At points, it was kind of cheesy to me, but I didn't care because I really liked it. It was shot well. I feel like the acting was good. I feel like the story was fantastic. I mean, you've got these corporate bad guys, and then it deals with some ancestral stuff and modern day stuff, and I mean, it's kind of a messed up story in a way. Some things I didn't quite understand, and I don't know if it was lost in translation, but I did like the implications behind everything. Yeah, I think this was. I think it's interesting that they said it was scary. I didn't think the movie was scary, but I found it very compelling, and I really enjoyed it.
Perfect.
But it takes a lot to scare me.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff Moore, it's your turn. What is your first impression of Howling Village?
I'm with Crystal. I enjoyed this. I thought it was a little long too, but not. And we'll save it for the spoilers part. But it's very creepy. I mean, it's J-horror to the max. It's an original folk horror story. I haven't heard anything quite like this before. It's complicated as hell. And it's really not obvious who the players are or how they relate to each other. But it kind of all sort of
makes sense
in the end, even though there isn't any big, long exposition or anything. You at least I got the gist. Now, did I get every little nuance of it? I would have had to stop and think, and it's, like I said, it was confusing. It was making my brain hurt. So I just decided to go with it. So I enjoyed it. I really did.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch this. I had trouble with the screener and was not able to get it corrected by time of tonight's recording. And I'm really bummed because
it's really too bad.
Yeah.
I think you would have really liked it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm a huge J-horror fan. I love Asian horror films. I love Japanese. I love South Korean. I love Cantonese, Mandarin. I love them all. And this looked like it was right up my alley. Now, another reason I was looking forward to this is the director, Takeshi Shimizu, who has done some great horror films. Now, he's best known for Ju-on, which is also known as, in the States, as The Grudge. And he's directed umpteen of them. But we've reviewed a few of his other films here. I think we did, I'm looking, Tormented is the one we did. That he did in the States, but he also did Flight 7500, and his film that he's preparing now is called The Graveyard Apartment, which title alone has been sold.
Sounds fun.
But he definitely has a certain style, and I was kind of sold on it before it even got in our hands. So I am eager to find out exactly what made this awesome, and I'm going to hand it over to you guys to continue the discussion.
Okay, so I guess for me, it was all about the characters. That's really all that mattered in this movie, is the characters and how they fit together. It really is a mystery that you solve as the lead female solves it. She's a doctor, right? Like
psychologist, yeah.
She's a psychologist. So it's really interesting how you see her relationship with their family first. And actually, what I found really cool, and I know this is going to sound silly, but their home is, you see the father meditating or whatever, they have this traditional beautiful home. And then you see the brother's room, and I just loved it because it was a kind of a mess, and he even had a ring light and all that sort of. I don't know. I like seeing the way people live and stuff, like really live.
The generational disconnection there.
Yeah. But what about? I mean, what did you think, Jeff? I mean, I could talk a lot.
Well, the one thing that bothered me is the thing that I know you guys have heard me complain about this before, but in the climax. There's a scene where somebody is trying to save somebody else, and they obviously are sacrificing themselves.
Oh,
and
yeah.
go
It's like
run, and the person just stands there for like it's like 10 minutes. I'm sure it's not 10 minutes, but it's probably 5 minutes. I mean, my God, you're going. He said run, and he's getting his ass chewed up. So why, that
I was with
bugs
you
me.
on that too.
And then there's another thing I think that happens a lot in, well, I know it does in South Korea, and I don't know if it's Asian all around, but children or babies in danger is a kind of a common trope. And that's played here.
Yes. Actually, kids and babies.
Pretty big, yeah. So, but I was okay with that. It's a detailed, mixed up mythology, generational, and I enjoyed it. And they pulled it out at the end, because there's a part there where I'm going, well, wait a minute.
I knew it. I know exactly what I knew.
What's that guy? What's that person doing? I thought they were, but so
there's a big twist. Like, and as soon as it was happening, I knew what was happening. I was like, oh yeah, okay, this all makes sense. It all does like come together right at the end. But still, I think they could have shaved off like 10 minutes and tightened it up, and it would have been awesome. Like what he's talking about, like the running scene, like that could have been tightened. Just certain scenes throughout could have been tightened and would have made it really, really impactful.
I think I don't know what they're going for in a scene like that. If they're trying to ramp up the audience angst, but I'm just getting more and more pissed off. Set the situation. Give them a few seconds to hesitate because they're froze,
Yeah,
and
sure.
then
I can buy that.
Take off. But it just makes me mad.
But they also had some good practical. So they did a lot of CGI in this, but they did some good practical effects in this as well. So they did use a mix of both, which I appreciated. And like I said, there was only a couple of the CGI that I was about, when it was an obvious green screen. And then they have groups of people and they're just kind of like, it kind of reminds me of The Flash, where they're just vibrating.
Yes.
Which I didn't mind so much, but at a point when you see all the people, it kind of is a little laughable. I think they could have done without that, and it would have been great. I think they tried to do a lot in this movie. There's a lot.
There were points where what you're talking about did look like...
It looks silly.
This looks silly, but there was other part where I was like, ooh, I was getting goosebumps. Spooky. Yeah, that was, and there wasn't a lot of different. I don't know if it was just the scenario or
I think
the setting.
You could see all their clothing and stuff. Like if they looked more modern, like when they looked more like Black Shadows, I liked it because they were just kind of more like figures.
Yeah, and it's also not just a one note kind of scare, because there's different ways that people are, I don't know, we're spoiling, so there's different ways that people die based on the haunting or the folklore or whatever. and there's like this one little kid draws a map, and he labels stuff. So there's the Howling Tunnel that goes to the Howling Village. But then there's the, what is it? Like the Red Bridge and the creepy telephone booth or something like that, or the scary telephone booth. I don't know what they called it, but all that stuff is.
And it all comes into play. So he makes like a big village of it, which is actually pretty cool. That's her little younger brother. There's a lot. There's so much we could talk about. But the village itself was destroyed or people act like they don't know for sure if it ever existed. Like it's pretty much been forgotten, so to speak. Okay, so basically the whole movie is about this forgotten village, and did it exist? And if it did, people are just ignoring it and letting it die or whatever. And if the people who come from this village, what are they like? That's what it explores.
A regular Silent
And we
Hill.
could go further. We could go further into spoilers, but I don't want to because it'll ruin.
I don't either.
It's the twist is that good. Actually, I think that.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it again definitely because now that I know the things that I know, I want to go back and see it pieced together
and
from
knowing
the beginning.
what you knew and who everyone is. Yeah, like you. Yeah, it's good. I think everyone will enjoy this for the most part. And like I said, you know what I really like too is so they have quote unquote jump scares, but they don't do them like that super loud jump scare, which I can't stand that because as a sensory issue for me, I don't like the loud sounds. It really messes me up. So they do them kind of loud, and then they almost do it after. I don't know. I just really prefer the way that they did it. It's something silly, but for someone who doesn't like jump scares, it's like they like ease you into the jump scares. It's like ease you in. You know, it's like a
jump scares coming. Jump scares coming. Sit down.
The sound mixing is good.
And I know when they're turned around, I'm going to see something.
Yeah. Well, I have two questions about the director, and then we'll wrap things up. The first one is Takashi Shimizu is he's known for a very interesting storytelling. Not the narrative usually isn't linear, and I'm curious if this is more like that.
Linear.
Okay, yeah, because
it is, but it's not.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's his bag, right? That's his bag.
It appears to be linear,
works.
but the things are
And it works. Like even though it's not linear, you're not confused.
You follow the main character. Her journey through the film is linear. But
yes,
what she experiences is not. All right, cool.
Exactly.
Another thing he's known for is, of course, like The Ring. He's known for the dark-haired girl. He's brought that to life. So
I love this bitch. I love this.
The poster has one. Tell me about
She's great. Yeah. She's fabulous. And then some of it, I know they did some post-production stuff on her too, but I mean, you can imagine it's called Howling Village for reasons.
And
that actually took me a minute to process that. Oh, that is something that will don't think too hard. Might make you sick a little bit.
Oh no.
But it's good. It doesn't matter. It works and it's interesting and it's weird.
All that sounds great to me.
Yep. I think you'll like it. It's a little messed up, but
I might have to watch it again tonight. I'm getting excited.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take this opportunity to wrap things up, give our final thoughts, score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. So, Crystal, you are up first. Let us have it.
Okay. Obviously, yeah, I think you should catch it. If it comes near you, that was awkward. That was awkward the way I worded that. If it streams near you or shows near you, I suggest going to watch it. I think most horror movie lovers will enjoy it. It's got that cool tone, traditional, darky, grungy feel, and the story is just awesome. Really, it's wicked. It's out there. I really, really like it. I'm going to give this a 4.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nice.
And my favorite scene is the upside down fall.
That sounds great.
Oh, it's
is it? Yeah. Oh man, just that description alone, I'm sold. All right, Jeff.
Yeah, you know what Jeff knows too. He's like,
yeah, absolutely.
So weird. Yeah.
You're finally
I'm with Crystal. I am giving this a 4. You're going to want to see this. It's I think it's a great story, and it is to me it's ingenious the way that they that he tells the story and the way that the pace at which you kind of get what's going on, because at first you're like going, what? I don't get, well, maybe, could it be, this is like going on throughout the movie. So despite, and that's, I'm giving it up for the long climax scene with no action. I can overlook that because it's so good. So my favorite scene, and this might sound weird because I'd like to pick something like Crystal did, but I'm going to say early on, the doctor is treating a little kid who has like an imaginary friend. His parents keep bringing him in because he keeps talking about his mom or his other mom or something like that. And at some point, the doctor realizes she can see her.
Yeah.
And that tells you something about the doctor that you don't necessarily realize at first. But at any rate, it wasn't an imaginary friend.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Dun,
And they
dun,
have a bigger bond than what you think too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I don't remember what he actually calls her. Is it my other mom or my real mom or my first mom
My other
or something
mom,
like that?
my
Yeah.
other mom. Yeah.
So
He's like, but we don't want to tell the other mom because it'll make her cry.
yeah, he keeps going to this doctor.
Because he doesn't want to his mother anyway, it doesn't matter. You have to watch it. But it's good. It's good. It's sweet little kid.
All right. Well, there you go. That's our review for Howling Village, which is out on digital and VOD now. So check it out and leave some comments down below. I got to see this. Thank you for a great review. It's really interesting hearing these reviews without
knowing.
I know. It's like you didn't spoil anything. I have no idea, but it sounds great. They fall upside down. I'm sold.
When you see this, it's unforgettable. Okay. I can't believe he did it this way.
Yeah, it's so different.
Rewound it. I rewound it because I was like, that is messing with my head.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Crystal, Jeff, thank you for joining me.
Yep. Thanks for having
me. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's say good night.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Gruesome Magazine.